The pillows are fluff thanks to Miss Emily. The couch is wide enough, join the family. It's all love while we laugh at Perp's criminalities. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup at hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh, please, the puppies need me. Oh, oh, please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credential stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup and hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh please, the puppies need me. Oh please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credentialed stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup that hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.
Hey, 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 hello everybody, how's it going? Hello everybody, welcome to the Sofa Squad. I hope y'all are doing well. Drop those ones if you don't mind so I know you can hear me. Hello Ginger, hello Emily, hello Sofa Squad. Also, don't forget to give the live chat a thumbs up. I do appreciate it. It helps us out very, very much so. Pardon me. Thank you for the one, Dawn. Hello, Irish. Hello, Dawn. Hello, Katie Cat. Hey, Irish again. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, Death Skull. Hello, Audra. Thanks for being here as well. Hey, Haiti Bug. Hey, Giggles Mama. I hope y'all are doing all good today. So, y'all, hey, Shayna. I hope you had a good hike today. So what we're going to be doing tonight is we're going to be looking at a bunch of videos. We're going to review the Rob Reiner case through videos. I want to start with the one of Hey Hairball of Alan Jackson and Court is kind of the most recent one. I also want to watch the interview that him and his son Nick did. I don't know if y'all watched it. It's heart wrenching. And this is in 2016 when they were promoting the movie. That's kind of like a little bit of like a, you know, autobiography type film or whatever. And then just a couple other things. So Rob and Michelle Reiner were murdered. I mean, I don't even, do we need to even say allegedly with this? Their son, Nick, has been charged with the murder. Their daughter, Romy, found the bodies. Now, a couple of things here. Let's just go ahead and like kind of talk about this quick little timeline because I'm curious about your opinions. Oh, Chrissy, I was thinking about you earlier. I just wanted to say hello before I go back to resting. Surgery is a lot worse affected. Oh, Chrissy, thank you for that. And I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're feeling well. It was good seeing you post the other day. Thank you for keeping us updated on your progress and your surgeries. Pardon me. Now, so the timeline. So what I want to do and what I'm curious to hear from y'all is kind of this theory or whatever. I did my video earlier today and just looking at like the whole situation of the Christmas party before and all this kind of stuff. I was like, I wonder if this is how this went down. So let's talk about it. So Nick Reiner was living with his parents, Michelle and Rob Reiner. Nick, apparently since the age of 15, has been in and out of rehabs like 17, 18 times. He's had major issues, you know, mental health, drugs, all this kind of stuff, right? So a couple of things. We'll start with right before. Christmas party, Conan O'Brien, the comedian, he has a party. Now, per TMZ, people are basically like, yeah, this is a fancy Hollywood black tie event. We're talking, you know, the tuxedos, all the things, right? And Nick shows up wearing a sweatshirt, hoodie, and basically is like kind of sketchy, acting a certain way. His parents are there. He's interrupting important people and doing this and doing that. This essentially causes a major argument between Rob and Nick, to the point it's a scene, basically, right? People can't ignore it. It's a scene. Now, my understanding is the way that I read it, but I'm not sure if this is 100% accurate, is Michelle and Nick basically had to leave and maybe Rob stayed behind, and then they all end up at the house later. I'm not sure exactly how that part went down, but hey, Sandy, regardless, they all end up obviously at some point leaving, okay? Then at 4 a.m., Nick will check into a hotel somewhere there in like Hollywood or wherever. Remember, he's living there. Now, the hotel staff, well, people saw him check in or whatever, like he was totally tweaked out. Okay, then they were like, he looked tweaked out, but he's not covered in blood or anything. So here's my first question. When the hotel staff goes into the room later, because he never officially checked out, he just like left or whatever, and he was eventually arrested. They're like, the shower's covered in blood, the bed's covered in blood, etc., etc. Here is my question for you. The way I first looked into it, I was like, or not looked into it, viewed it. My perspective was the way they were saying it was, so did he leave the hotel once he got there and went back home and killed them and then came back and showered? Or do we think that he had an injury and he tried to clean it up or bandage it or something, and that's where the blood came from? I mean, granted, we'll find all this out as more information comes out, but I don't know if it's already come out. There's so much information out there now, trying to sift through it. So if anybody has any thoughts on that process or whatever. Okay. And then let's go to the next question, the next thing. So to me, listening to it, I was like, okay, I think he obviously relapsed, right? He shows up to the party. We don't know what's been going on before this, okay? Because apparently when his sister calls 911 and talks to the cops, he's the first person. You need to find my brother. He's dangerous. This is who you need to find to do this, right? Okay. Northwest says some hotels you can check in on a phone without speaking to anyone. Interesting. That was my next thing. He checked in early AM after the murders. Seems he would have been blood covered and checked in denied. Yeah. And then North says that. Yeah. So, okay, these are excellent points. Maybe he put a jacket after the coat which covered the blood till he got to his room. Anna says yes. Because it almost makes you think he did the killing and then went there, right? And then left at some point. So there's that. Now, so he goes to the party. He shows up. He's high. He embarrasses Rob. He embarrasses his mother. They're at their wits' end with the stuff. It makes me feel like they got in this argument, and Rob maybe was like, you have to go. Maybe they give him an ultimatum. You have to, you're high. That's it. We told you one last time, you're out of the house. Something, right? Something of this flavor. Something went down to where it caused this extreme reaction, and he killed them, stabbed them to death. Their throats were, messed up. So what are our thoughts on that? Is the first thing there. So there's that. Okay. Sister comes, finds the bodies later. He's eventually picked up 15 miles away at this park, kind of near USC or whatever. And he's been arrested. He's on no bond. And what's his name? Alan Jackson from the Karen Reed case is now his attorney. Okay, so that's like the quick gist of it. Now, also of interest is, and I don't have the name in front of me, but it's some producer. A guy was staying with him in mid-November, and he was like there for a week as like a house guest. Now, mind you, this is like a big fancy Hollywood house, right? So a house guest in that way could be he's staying in this other wing. But he was like, I saw Nick. He ate dinner. He was present. He was looked good. He was physically active. He was playing sports. He was hanging out with the family. He was taking the garbage out, washing dishes, participating in family life. And he was like, there was nothing but love there. That's all I saw. And so all this turn of events just doesn't make sense to me with what I saw. Now, here's my thing. That was mid-November and we're at mid-December. And so I was like, well, look, I mean, he might have seen that, but a couple of things. I was like, I bet that he, meaning Nick, he could have been doing fine. Multiple things could have been true at one time, right? He could have been doing fine, sober, fell off the wagon, and then went from like 0 to 10,000. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm not putting too much credence in the one guy saying a month earlier that Nick seemed to be completely fine is what I'm getting at. Hold on one second. Okay, on a Dolly says, my theory is Nick was living with his folks, probably on a come down. Parent took him to the party, having to distract him. He was jonesing and crashed out. Yeah, I think of something of this flavor is what went down. And yeah, he's detoxing now. And so then, the whole thing too is is he going to detox and be like, oh my God, what did I do? North Wilding says apparently he has a history of violent behavior. Maybe he has psychotic breaks. Yeah. Yeah. My understanding, like Mamba Bear said, they did all they could. Yeah. They literally, from my understanding, you'll see in the interview we watch, you can tell how much the parents loved him and how much they tried. Right. So they did everything they could. I mean, sent him to the best places, did all this stuff. And when we watch the interview with Rob and Nick, this is what's heartbreaking about it, because you see how much Rob cared for him, and how much the opportunity that him and Nick had to make this movie together and kind of learn each other's perspective in the journey of having a son going through this and the son having parents going through it with him. You see what I'm saying? So it was amazing. So what I want to do is I want to, first of all, pull up this. We're going to first watch Nick Reiner appears in court for the first time and parents murder case is the title. This is KSDK News. Please hold. Shibba-da-dib-dib.
F08098. Good morning, Your Honor. Alan Jackson, along with Caleb Mason and Elizabeth Little, and Mortimer Jackson, went on behalf of Mr. Reiner, who's currently present in court in custody.
Good morning, Your Honor. Habib Bailey for the people.
Jonathan, for the people, Your Honor.
Thank you. And counsel, how would you like to proceed today?
Your Honor, if we could, I would like to ask for a continuance of the arraignment. I want to get complete at this juncture. It's too early. We've coordinated with counsel from the DA's office, and January 7th, with the court's permission, will be a convenient date for us to come back for potential arraignment.
Thank you. At this time, I'll take a waiver, speedy arraignment waiver from your client.
Thank you.
Mr. Reiner, do you have a constitutional and statutory right to a speedy arraignment? Your counsel is requesting that your arraignment be continued to January 7, 2026. Do you waive your right to a speedy arraignment so that your arraignment can be heard on January 7, 2026? And does counsel join in the waiver?
I join, Your
The
Honor.
court finds that the defendant has made a knowing and intelligent waiver of his right to a speedy arraignment, and that his counsel joins in that waiver. Matter set January 7, 2026 for arraignment, and this department failed to stand at no bail. Anything further on that case?
Not by the defense, Your Honor.
Anything further?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, sorry. I had to get rid of that. Let's repeat. Thank you, Chrissy. That's really sweet. I appreciate it. And thank you, Peachy, for the gift of memberships. Okay, I didn't see him in there, but you heard that January 27th. So there's that. Alan Jackson, been doing Alan Jackson things, right? Now, what I'm going to do next is we're going to go over to new details emerge in the murder of Rob Reiner. This is just a Fox News clip, photos of the arrest, that kind of a thing.
To a story that we are continuing to follow. And I want to take a look at this, a social media post from a TMZ. It says LAPD releases Nick Reiner arrest photos in murders of Rob and Michelle Reiner. This comes as Los Angeles police set to present a case to prosecutors today following Nick's arrest in the killings of his parents. Joining us now to discuss this with the live report is Mario Ramirez over at Fox 11 in Los Angeles. Mario.
Hi, Carell. Good morning to you. We know charges have not yet officially been brought against 32-year-old Nick Reiner. We can't tell you 24 hours ago, we were at the home in Brentwood where Rob and Michelle were stabbed to death. They were discovered Sunday afternoon, and we know that this morning, Nick is expected to appear in court here downtown. As early as this morning, we're still waiting for those official charges, which should come as early as this morning. Now, police say their youngest son, Nick Reiner, is now the focus of this murder investigation. It'll soon be in the hands of prosecutors. Authorities confirming the 32-year-old was arrested Sunday night on suspicion of stabbing both his parents to death inside their Brentwood home. The couple, Rob Reiner, 78, and Michelle Singer Reiner, 68, found dead Sunday afternoon by their daughter, Romy, according to reports from TMZ. And Nick wasn't at the house when police arrived. Detectives believe he left sometime after the attacks, and the night before, he was seen at a holiday party, Conan O'Brien's Christmas party, where an argument reportedly broke out between father and son. And we know that Nick's struggle with addiction and mental health issues has been apparent for years. Meanwhile, TMZ also reporting that after that argument Saturday night, Nick checked into a Santa Monica hotel early Sunday morning before the attacks, and he was taken into custody eventually Sunday night around 9:15. So, Carell, we can tell you that Nick is currently...
Wait, did y'all hear that? Did you hear him say he checked into the hotel before the attacks? So wait, y'all, what if no, because he had to go back. Okay, so what do y'all think of that? So let's listen to it again to make sure I heard it right, first of all.
Get into custody eventually Sunday night around 9:15. So, Carell, we can tell you that checked into a Santa Monica hotel early Sunday morning before the attacks, and he was taken into custody eventually Sunday night around 9:15. So, Carell, we can tell you that Nick is currently in custody. He's being held at the Twin Towers Correctional Facility, which is just down the street from the courthouse. And as we wait for those official charges from prosecutors, we can tell you that he is on suicide watch. We learned that early this morning, and initially he was being held on $4 million bail. That has now changed to being held with no bail as we wait for that case to be presented to the district attorney's office here in LA County. For now, live downtown, I'm Mario Ramirez. Carell, I'll send it back to you.
Okay, so them saying he checked in the hotel before the attacks. So this makes me think, so let's just like go down that way right there. Okay. He goes to the party. They get in an argument. It's a scene. He leaves. He goes back to the house. Something pops off. 4 a.m. He's checking into a hotel. So he would have had to leave the house beforehand. So maybe do we know what time Rob came back to the home? Maybe there's something. He comes back there. You've got to go. You've got to go. He goes and checks into the hotel room. He goes back to the house and the killing happens. And then he comes back and cleans up. So that's where it's like, what happened in the decision-making process? Also, I mentioned like premeditated earlier. What happens in the decision-making process of it? What was going on to leave, get hotel room, sit in there, go back to home? Was there a confrontation? Or was he like, I'm going to, maybe he wanted more money? I don't know. Yeah, Giggle says premeditated. They left the party before Nick. Okay. He checked in and left. TMZ. Okay, so he checked in and left. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. He could have forgotten his charger. Maybe he wanted to do the deed. Yeah, like, Okay. So let's go to this one over here now. Now, you know how I was telling you about the dude who stayed with him for a week? Let's look at that news clip and hear what they say. Please hold. Currently sharing, currently sharing.
Cinematographer Barry Markowitz is reflecting on the last time he spent with director and close friend Rob Reiner. Barry telling Page Six December 16th in a phone interview that he recently stayed with Rob and his wife Michelle at their home for 5 days per their request, while he was in town for the November 14th premiere of his latest film, The Perfect Gamble, starring David Arquette. I may have been one of the last people to see them, Barry recalls, saying he saw their 32-year-old son Nick, who looked great. He was sitting and talking with the family. They eat dinner together, old school, and a lot of love, always a lot of love. Barry recalled Nick going out to play tennis and basketball during his stay, but says he never feared for his safety and that Nick was very present, taking out the garbage, washing dishes, and even watching TV with the family. I think what's puzzling the most, the 360, is that there was so much love and it doesn't jive. I'm not here to judge anyone. LOVE is the only thing I saw, and I don't think it was fake. They had a real bond. Rob and Michelle never gave up on their son Nick during his very public battle with drug addiction over the years, Barry said, adding, they tried a million things with him, not giving him money, but sending him to the top of the line places. Rob never gave up. He tried everything. If you knew Rob, he was just a bundle of love.
Okay. So thank you, Emily, for your text. Again, to me, especially with the kind of the history we're learning, I'm sure that was present. I'm sure there's multiple things going on here at one time, right? Like it doesn't have to be just one thing. And it just sounds like, I mean, I can almost just see him maneuvering around the party. Like, just imagine how someone in that vicinity is just like, moving in that world and taking up space and just doing their thing or whatever. I don't know. Okay, what I want to do now is I want to watch the interview with him and his father. Now, I'm going to speed it up a little bit because this one is longer. Y'all probably seen these clips. They're pretty all over the place. You'll understand why when you see what he says. Okay, there we go. Okay.
You don't seem very fiery to me. You
I
seem like
get
you might just-
crazy. I get crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You don't want to set me off.
Yeah. Were you ever worried that that Nick could shine poorly on your career or something like that?
No, that never crossed my mind. I mean, he's my son. I love him. It doesn't matter. That he's more important than anything that could happen to me.
Charlie, why don't you tell us what you want to thank God for? 6 months of sobriety? Nothing you want to say?
Do I smell like weed? No, I think I smell like weed. Is most of the movie parallel to your life, or almost all of it?
No, we took from our lives, but it's a fiction. I mean, Nick can tell you because he went through all of this, and I think you took from a lot of different people, didn't you?
Yeah, from my own experiences and from also seeing other people going through it, and also the varying establishments that I was in, you really get a sense for that whole world. So it's not like copy and pasted, but it's definitely derivative of, reality. Sort of like a 4-year process. Like first we started out with this like slapsticky half-hour comedy pilot that was horrendous, bad jokes and everything. And he looked at it and was like, eh. And then
I just felt he could go deeper. He could go deeper with it. I mean, it was funny, but I felt the subject matter, should allow him to go deeper with it.
Yeah, well, that wasn't said at the time. It was sort of just like, hey, this is trash. But anyways, we went along, and 4 years went by, and then I met up with.
Again, you see how he just said that thing where he was like, yeah, that wasn't said at the time. He just said it was trash. But anyways, there's like this, I don't know the word for it. There's a certain energy off of him. And I sit here and try to, like, I can't imagine what it would be like, whether you got addictions or whatever. Just the fact of growing up in a Hollywood family, like, and that's your norm. You know what I'm saying? Like, then you add in all these troubles that he's saying that he had and whatnot. Yeah, undercurrent track says, yeah, literally. Yeah, he does. Nick seems to have this kind of oddness. You know what I mean? Let's keep going.
Matt for a bagel in New York City, and we were like, "What about that old script that we were?"
No, wait, just real quick. Sorry for those that don't know. If you're like, what is this about? This is the movie that him and his dad did, and it's basically like a bio. It's a fiction, but it's like very much based on their experience. To his experience with drug addiction and the whole 9 yards.
Maybe there was some good stuff in there. We went in and we looked at one page and we were like, "This is terrible," and then. Yeah, I just sort of wrote a new pilot, then got around to him saying, would you like to make a movie out of this? And we were like, we don't know how to do that. And then we just tried to do it.
Was it cathartic in a way to revisit the journey?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, we went through a lot. I mean, we didn't do it to be cathartic, but it turned out that that's what happened. I mean, it forced me to understand a lot more of what Nick was going through, and I think it forced him to see what I was going through, and that brought us closer together. And during the process of working on the film, it took about a year just working on the script. The first draft they wrote was like 190 pages. They had thrown everything in that they had gone through.
Manifesto.
Yeah, and as we shaped it and changed it, the whole process brought us closer together because we started understanding each other a little bit better.
I'm not going to listen to you tell me what a drug addict I am. Be careful. I'm one of your constituents now. You wouldn't want to lose the governor's race by one vote. You can either head back to treatment or live on the streets. It's your choice.
I can't tell exactly what got me into them besides the fact that I thought they were really cool and I just wanted to do them. But I think I heard this question a lot, and I think the only answer I can give for wanting to tell a story like this is that it's even more powerful to tell it about someone who is going through this and they're given everything and they're in an opulent situation and they're still deciding to go to the drugs. And that's more powerful than some, in our opinion, that's the only story that we know. We don't know any other story.
And I think, it cuts across socioeconomic boundaries. I mean, if you look what's going on now with the heroin epidemic around the country, it's invading white middle class suburban neighborhoods. So it doesn't really it crosses all economic boundaries, and difficulties that you have are not relegated to only people who are unprivileged.
How bad did it get at home between the two of you?
It's reflected in the movie where the father character talks about how he didn't know what to do, so he listened to anybody who had a desk and a diploma to do exactly what you're talking about. But the truth of the matter is you have to be who you are. And I made mistakes in that I didn't go with my gut instinct and the feel. And I know Nick better than, some expert who's never met him. And I think had I listened to my own instincts, I would have done a lot better by Nick. But, you do what you do. You're a parent and you think, here's my kid running out into the streets, going to get hit by a truck, or you want to keep them safe. So you do what they tell you. You feel you're at their mercy. But what I feel after all of this is it's not about punishing. If somebody is struggling and has difficulties, you don't punish them for that. And I think a lot of these programs feel like the kid is being punished, and I don't think that's a great way to go. I mean, how do you feel about it, Nick?
About what part of
about what I was just saying about the idea of the tough love and all of that stuff.
I'm here, so it worked.
It was never about the drugs. All I ever wanted was a way to kill the noise.
Getting sober is a selfish thing. You gotta help yourself first.
For everyone, it's different. For me, the noise was basically, living in the family that I live in and catching heat for that sort of stuff. And also just
For being a Reiner?
I guess. I mean, people would like to think that's a real bigger deal than it actually is. But it's really like I was an emotional kid who had problems and I just was not so fond of myself. So I kind of, had problems in that way. But
see how he talks about the part where he's like about being a Reiner and in the family. And he's like, I guess, people think it's a bigger deal. And, one thing I'm getting from him is it's like, and I'm trying to imagine like, okay, and I don't know, I don't know if kids like him go to a normal high school, you know what I'm saying? Like, or do they go to private schools? Who knows? But even in that, in my mind, I guess I assume the circles they move in, they're working or doing things around a bunch of other really wealthy Hollywood people. So to me, he sounds like somebody who wanted to fit in with like regular everyday people. And he was also outcast or whatever. Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate it. It's good seeing you. He was also like maybe outcast because it's almost like, you know, oh, I'm a Hollywood rich kid and nobody liked me and blah, 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 blah. You see what I'm saying? And so there's that energy there, but I'm like, and again, I don't know what that's like. So what am I to say? But I just think it's I get this animosity off of him about it. You know, almost like from an early age, he was like almost angry about the family he was born into. And again, this is just me sitting here speculating and going off on a tangent about it, but it's just an energy I kind of get.
In terms of the thing you were saying before, it's like, I think that our relationship was not as it was portrayed in the film. Like there were this sort of like holding the line and being tough, but like we didn't ever argue like quite like that. I mean, we did, I guess, to a degree, but it was never.
He was fiery. You don't seem very fiery to me. You seem like you might just.
I get crazy.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
You don't want to set me off.
No. Some big blow-ups there.
No, we're.
Okay, there's some truth in that. That was like a little, not a slip, but like they're not. I get fiery, and you see his dad agreeing. So this kind of tells me, let that inform whatever took place. You see what I'm saying?
We both can get
You
pretty.
don't roll easily
No,
either,
we can
so-
both get pretty hot, and there were times when we did get hot. But
you weren't like cold like that. He was very loving and compassionate. I just think that he didn't really know what to do.
What about mom?
I didn't go to either of them because neither of them believed a word I said, but it was sort of like comforting to talk to her because she was a little bit more in touch with her emotions and how she felt about it. And he was sort of trying to, you know, follow orders, I guess.
You went to, how many times did you go to rehab? You said, is it 18 times?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it had to come from you. So what was rock bottom?
There wasn't one. It's all rock bottom. It all sucked.
When did you, what made you finally make it not a 19th?
I got just sick of it. I mean, it's hard to believe that you wouldn't get sick after 5 of them, but I mean, after 18, I was like, okay, I'm pretty bored of this. It wasn't like I want to go back to rehab. I was like, I'm sick of this cycle, this using drugs, it being so temporary, the fix, then going back into a place for months on end, then getting out and just, you know, rinse,
This
wash,
being
repeat.
my life.
Yeah.
Do you believe, and they'll tell you, you're gonna die if you continue on this way. Do you think you would die, or did you still feel invincible?
No, I mean, of course there's that level of feeling that way, but I was, you know, the rate I was going was probably not great. Gonna end up great.
Did you feel like, did you ever get close?
Yeah. Sure.
How do you manage it now? Do you go to AA meetings regularly? And
I found that those weren't as helpful for me as things like staying active and like, you know, replacing like not just, replacing the activity that you were doing before with stuff that's healthier, like working out, if you can afford it, going to a therapist, as well as like, you know, having a good, you know, support group of friends. I have that, which is lucky, and not everybody has that. And I have supportive parents.
And you also found work that you like. I mean, you found his writing, and that's something that, you know, he likes to do, and he works with his friends doing that. So
can you be in a room now where people are drinking or smoking pot or something, or do you consciously avoid those situations?
No, I want to be there when they're doing that, because I don't want to feel alienated, like I'm some, you know, special case, or I don't want to feel any different or alienated. I just want to be part of the crew again, you know, and just not do that other stuff.
Nick, what do you do when that little voice comes in and says, yeah, let's do something, let's use or something? How do you get over that?
I just replay what's happened every single time when I decide to give into that voice, and it's never been good. So it's just like, if I look at it from like a mathematical standpoint, the statistics are like 0 for it going well. So
yeah.
Were you ever worried that that Nick could shine poorly on your career or something like that?
No, that never crossed my mind. I mean, you know, he's my son. I love him. It doesn't matter. That he's more important than anything that could happen to me. I care more about him. He's most important, and Jake and Romy and my family, they're the most important. So that doesn't factor in.
What is your advice Rob, to parents who might be in this situation with a kid that's struggling?
I think listen to your kids. Go, try to spend as much time you can with your kids. Try to understand your kids and don't punish them, because this is my opinion. In my opinion, the reason they're taking, whether it's drugs or alcohol or gambling, whatever they're doing it because there's a pain. There's something inside they don't feel good. They don't feel good about themselves, and they're self-medicating. So to try to understand why it is they're not feeling good. Kids that don't use drugs at all, just going through teenage years, is difficult. So you have to just stay with them and try to understand as best you can. And whatever you do, don't be punitive, because I don't think that helps at all.
What worked for you that mom and dad did, and what didn't?
Everything. What worked is when they kind of were like, you know what? They turned their back and they're like, you got to figure it out for yourself. You're an adult now. This is getting old. Sort of not like we don't care, but just I don't know.
Nick, if dad said from the very beginning, God, I love you. I think it seems to be in terrible pain, and I hope you work it out. No, I always love you. And do you think you would have, instead of anything, it would have been a shorter journey? Maybe not 18 rehabs, you might have gotten there quicker, or no?
I think it needed to happen the way it happened. I was a real nutcase. I was crazy. And I just, it was more than drugs. It's really always about more than that. And I needed a lot of that sort of discipline. It's life. Life goes on. Life happens. Things flare up.
Life. Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, the movie it's not happily ever after the movie, but it is hopeful that, that Charlie's moving in a good direction, that the father is starting to understand Charlie a little bit better. And I think it's like Nick says, it's a process. It goes on, and you live your life.
Thank you for sharing your story and sharing your film, and congratulations, Nick, on writing a great movie.
So yes, so telling, and in hindsight, you know what I'm saying? So sad, but I mean, you see so many things that kind of inform what's taking place now, or what took place. Okay, I want to go on the screen over here for a second and look up some other things, because I just saved a few things to look over. Oops, wrong button. Please hold. And let's see here. Shibidoo. I said, welcome to the Sofa Squad. Shibidoo. Okay, let's see here. Okay, let's look at this. Please hold. This is moments leading up to his arrest. Please hold. Please hold. To be. To be.
Breaking news, this video just in moments ago. It shows Nick Reiner being arrested right near USC. You can see an LAPD unit racing to the intersection of Exposition and Vermont. Once an officer gets out of the car, you can see Reiner put his hands up. Moments before this, Reiner was seen across the street and inside a convenience store purchasing a drink. That's him there. This all happened Sunday night, hours after his father, actor-director Rob Reiner, and his mother, Michelle, were found dead inside their Brentwood home. Earlier today, Reiner was formally charged with his parents' murders.
Please hold. Yeah, he's just kind of casually strolling through the store. Come here. Come here. Let me read your thing. Come here. Yeah, I wonder what's in the backpack too, Jackie. That will be interesting. I think it's going to be, I mean, obviously sad or whatever, but also very interesting to learn some of these details that we're looking for. Now, let me go over here. Oh, okay, hold on. Here's another one. Please hold. His former yoga instructor says experience was disturbing. Okay. You know, we got to watch that. Okay, please hold. Let's see what this says.
yoga to Rob Reiner's son Nick when he was just 8 years old. And the experience was so disturbing, she wrote a children's book about it. The book is called A Chair in the Air, and it features a boy named Nicky.
From this experience with him, I was like rhyming this story about little Nicky, who's just so picky, he can't sit still.
Little Nicky was picky. He often threw a fit, the book opens. In the book, Nicky breaks his mom's vase and is despondent. Nicky awoke at home. His mom was still crying. "Mom, I'm not perfect," he said, "but I'll keep on trying." I spoke to author Alana Zabel. Was he very troubled as a child?
He had so much energy, and a lot of young boys have that kind of energy where they can't sit still. It is not uncommon. So I never saw it as a massive red flag.
Alana Zabel says she met the Reiner family when she was hired to train mom Michelle Reiner in yoga. Nick Reiner was about 8 years old, and she says he would often interrupt the yoga sessions. Her reaction to the news that her former student is now charged with his parents' murders?
I was just devastated.
Nick Reiner's struggles are well documented. He has been in and out of rehab about 17 times. Rob Reiner gave a glimpse into what his family experienced during this joint interview with Nick in 2016. They were promoting their movie Being Charlie about a drug-addicted son loosely based on Nick's experiences.
I would do anything that, as we say in the film, anybody with a desk and a diploma, I would listen to them. And the whole idea of tough love and you have to be a certain way. And it's not my nature. It's not the way I am built, but I went and did that. You know, at the end of the day, I know my child better than an expert does, and I probably should have trusted my own instinct.
Dr. Drew Pinsky weighed in on Fox News.
Every instinct you have as a parent when dealing with an addict will be wrong.
Okay, so the children's book was a little, I mean, that was kind of weird, right? I was like, what? She didn't really say too much or whatever. That was just whatever. Okay, let's look up this thing right here. So, Bill, please hold. Okay, here we go. Let's look at this. Come over here and share it.
Details are emerging in the shocking deaths of filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle Singer Reiner. Attention is turning to Nick Reiner's behavior at a holiday gathering. According to NBC News, two sources confirmed the couple's son had been disruptive at a holiday party hosted by Conan O'Brien on Saturday, December 13th, the night before his parents were found dead at their Los Angeles home. One source tells NBC News that Nick allegedly interrupted a discussion involving comedian Bill Hader. After Bill told him it was a private conversation, Nick reportedly stood still and stared before, quote, storming off. E! News has reached out to representatives for Bill Hader for comment. 32-year-old Nick was arrested the next day for suspicion of murder and is currently being held without bail. On December 16th, he was formally charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in connection with the fatal stabbing of his parents. The Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office noted that he also faces a special allegation for allegedly using a knife. Lawyer Alan Jackson confirmed to E! News on December 16th that he will be Nick's attorney and would not be commenting any further beyond procedural details of the case.
So interesting. There's one other thing I saw over here I wanted to look at. So one thing when they described him saying like he stood there and then turned around and walked off or whatever. I mean, if you look at like when he's going in the store, he does seem to just kind of have this like flat affect or something. I don't know. Oh yeah, you know, like a lot of people saw stuff at that party. A lot of people. Let me go back over here real quick. Let's see this. Let me see if this actually is him talking. No, this is just rehashing this. Hold on. Bill. Or no. Let's look over here. Hold on. Okay, let's do this one. Hold on.
Any moment now, Nick Reiner will appear in court after being charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder for allegedly stabbing his parents to death in their Los Angeles home. Famed Hollywood director Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle, were reportedly dead for hours before their bodies were discovered by their daughter, Romy. This is Nick's first court appearance after being medically cleared. This is Outnumbered. I'm Kayleigh McEnany. Here's my co-host, Emily Campagno. Also joining us, Sandra Smith.
I've sped it up a little bit, y'all.
Kayleigh McGee-White, Fox News contributor, and Marcus Lemonis, American businessman and host of The Fixer on Fox Business. Let's start here. Surveillance video is helping investigators track his movements before and after the alleged killings. The video you see now shows Nick Reiner surrendering to police just after 9 p.m. on Sunday. Here's the Los Angeles County District Attorney on what Nick might be facing.
These charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. No decision at this point has been made with respect to the death penalty.
Now watch this. This is new video. It's surveillance video, and it shows Nick Reiner calmly walking outside a gas station. That gas station located very close to the Brentwood home in which the murders took place. This was just before midnight on Saturday, and a new report shed some light on Nick Reiner's alleged past struggles with drug addiction, with a source telling the New York Post, quote, he would do meth and not sleep for days, and then have outbursts, breaking things, punching walls. He was a ticking time bomb. The source also alleged that Nick destroyed the guest house more than once and then laughed at the chaos he caused. You know, Emily, we'll hear from the defense and the prosecution at various points as this plays out. And the defense, we'll see if they try to make an insanity claim. But the prosecution, I fully expect that they will point to some of these somewhat lucid actions, calmly walking down the street, going into the convenience store, making a purchase. Did he get that hotel room before or after the murder? Was he methodical in doing so? What did the staff see? We will see these countering facts, and they'll be used by each side.
Indeed. And the success of that particular defense is sort of incumbent on successfully arguing or proving that that individual did not appreciate the nature of his actions or the consequences. And the reality is that inside the adjudicatory system with the psychiatry of it all, there's a lot of different analyses that go on. So for example, you just mentioned that now he's been medically cleared, so he is indeed going to the hearing. You know, that's that step one of, is he a danger to himself? Is he a danger to others? Can he appreciate the hearing? And then moving forward, it will be mental competency to stand trial, mental competency to appreciate the sentencing, the insanity defense, which would be if it indeed proceeds to trial. So there's sort of all of these different steps along the way where defense might, we expect, be arguing those things. But at the end of the day, I think if we take a step back, our conversations as a society include a lot of compassion, and rightly so, for those that are addicted, those that are on drugs and whatnot. And it's a horrific, sort of debilitating disease. But also in this society, it's ensured that there is consequences for actions, and that violence and such hate and such rage and such horrific acts are not absolved simply because someone is high. They're not absolved simply because someone has demons that were manufactured, and certainly not the result of opportunities and a loving family that person had. So we will see that play out, and we will see it against the imprint of the justice system, and eventually, potentially, a jury that will essentially say, are you just trying to pull one over on us when we see pretty clearly what happened? You nonchalantly sauntering around and join big holiday parties and the like, and then somehow your demons got a hold of you.
Sandra, I have a lot of questions about the hotel room. So it's 4 a.m. He gets this hotel room. It's the night of the party, the Conan O'Brien party, where allegedly he had some erratic behavior, some disputes there. But then they say he looks fine. He has no lacerations on the face when he checks in, but he's a little tweaked out. And then it's the staff that cleans the room later. This is all from TMZ. And they find a bloody shower. They find blood on the bed. They find drapings over the windows. So clearly a cleanup. But my question becomes, did he check into the room, go commit this, and then go back with the blood? How did the blood get there?
Hopefully there's more surveillance video. Hopefully there's more eyewitnesses. And a lot of the witnesses, when it comes to his mental capacity and what his state of mind was when he carried this crime allegedly out, will be the witnesses at the party. I truly believe at Conan O'Brien's holiday party, you know, there are conflicting reports over what the crazy questions that he was asking guests at that party, how he was behaving, whether or not his father or mother rebuked his behavior on site. There was the reports of the disputes, that there was heated arguments with their son. These details are still incredibly unclear. And was he living on the property of the parents? Did he have direct access to the home? And to go to your point, Emily, about the compassion for families who go through these challenges, especially with their own children, how difficult it is for them to navigate what one day might look like differently from one previous or the next. It's incredibly difficult for them to navigate that and to anticipate what could come, knowing they're incredibly volatile people, whether they're on drugs or having a mental breakdown or whatever it may be. How were they to expect this, obviously? But they probably and most likely have had many uncertain days, whether or not they go to bed fearing that something like this could happen. I take myself through all of those things, but for the couple to have been asleep and have this allegedly carried out at 3 o'clock in the morning, were they in a place where they felt comfortable enough to go to sleep? But the daughter, clearly, what she has said on the record so far and what we've learned there, she clearly told the police once the parents were found that he was a danger.
Yeah.
And she knew this. And there was obviously signs leading up to this moment.
You know, the daughter, I can't get this detail from the New York Times out of my mind, Kaylee. It's the one detail that is just really haunting to me among many. This is the daughter, Romy. She goes to the house the day after the party on Sunday afternoon. She's 28. She fled the house in anguish upon encountering her father's body inside the house. Her roommate waiting outside called 911. The person said, listen to this, Romy Reiner did not see her mother's body in the house and learned from the paramedics outside that she was dead, too, the person said.
It's horrifying. And, you know, part of the compassion that we as a system can have on families who are struggling with this is providing them with options. We know that this young man was in and out of rehab throughout his young adult life about 18 times, according to some reports. And he even admitted in an interview back in 2022 that rehab did nothing for him, that he would go into it, that he would resist it, and he would come out and he would go back to the exact same kind of behavior again. And especially if there were indications of violent behavior on his part, what were the parents supposed to do? They can't get the police involved unless a crime has been committed. And we as a society have basically removed all sorts of long-term care institutions that were meant for people struggling with mental health. We've gotten rid of those. So this is the problem, is they didn't really have many alternatives besides what they were doing. And, you know, I think about the movie that Rob Reiner made with his son, Being Charlie, that dealt exactly with this issue about a son struggling with addiction. And there's one line in that film from the father where he looks at his son and he says, "How can I help you? Tell me how to help." And you know, as a parent, that that's all they wanted to do for their son. They wanted to get him the help that he needed. But I think in this case, they just couldn't because there weren't many options available to them.
So a lot of those clips and them promoting the movie have been surfacing all across the internet. And here's one clip. And just watch. Rob Reiner has so much love and compassion for his son, Nick. This is them interacting. This is 2016.
You don't set out to have a cathartic experience or you know, this will be therapeutic in some way, but the fact that we were dealing with, you know, things that Nick had gone through and how I had related to it and how his mother had related to it, it forced me to have to see more clearly and understand more deeply what Nick had gone through. And I think it forced him to see things that I had experienced during this process. And it definitely brought us closer together.
Marcus.
Look, I think we've eloquently described that the lack of competency or competency doesn't remove accountability. But I want to really get focused on the families, millions of families in America today that are dealing with children or parents that have an addiction, that have problems, that have mental illness, and what must be going through their mind today. There's a family who's been ripped apart, and there are other families across the country who may have fear today that they may be the next ones to get ripped apart. So people are going to be paying very close attention to how the defense is going to structure this to make excuses. I hate to use that word, to make excuses or justifications for the behavior. If you have a family member who is riddled with drug addiction or who is riddled with anything like that, you understand that love makes you vulnerable. You tend to open yourselves up. That if you and I were brother and sister and I had an addiction, you would love me just the same. But you would become more vulnerable because you would be meeting me at my darkest place, at my darkest moment, and may not have the ability to see it coming. And that is what I fear happened to the Reiner family. They didn't see it coming because their love clouded their judgment.
Yeah, and their daughter's life forever changed, their brother forever changed. And it's tough in these family disputes. There might be relatives testifying against relatives.
Yeah.
It'll be hard to watch. All right.
Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. So Yeah, we're just gonna have to see. They were a lot of the questions they're asking are the ones that obviously I've asked over this last hour. And I'm very curious to get more information. Now, did they say, was it January 27th that he's coming back into court? I think that's what they said. His next hearing. And I imagine we'll be getting more information. I imagine when more stuff like, camera footage, that type of stuff comes out, some of these answers will come about. Now, one thing I want to say, so let's wrap things up here. January 7th. Okay, so next hearing is January 7th. Okay, so I'll be on the lookout for that. So wrapping things up, first of all, tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So for this channel, we'll be streaming the Brian Walsh sentencing, unless they put it off again. It was supposed to be the other day, but they pushed it off a day, or maybe it was supposed to be today and they pushed it off till tomorrow. But we'll be streaming that, and we'll just see how it goes. There was two major things today. Number one, there was a hearing in the cruise ship custody situation going on. I want to watch that with y'all. I'm kind of holding out because I need to watch it, to do a video. So I was like, we could watch it together. Tomorrow evening would really be the only time to do it. So we're going to see. I'm going to look it up when we're done here and see how long it is and all that kind of stuff. If it's super long, we might not do it if we stream all day, and maybe we'll do it over the weekend or whatever. Also, JP Miller has charges, federal charges. He hasn't been charged with Micah's murder, but he has been charged with the let me look it up real quick because I'm gonna say it wrong. Emily texted me that earlier and I was like, what? He's been indicted on federal charges. Micah Miller, if you're not familiar with this, was his, I say, victim. She allegedly took her life. He is the pastor. I don't know if he's a pastor anymore. He's if you follow me for a while, the man in the grass crying, covered in ants. Tragic case. She took her own life. I think he pushed her to it, if not had a helping hand in it. But she took her life. She was found in a North Carolina state park. This is April 27th of 2024. So let's see. They are about a pastor. He's been indicted by a federal grand jury December 17th. But it's, so we'll stand by that, but that's major. Basically any which way they can get that man in jail or prison needs to happen, right? I'm talking justice for so many people, especially Micah. So that's it. So what we'll do is we'll wind things down here, and then we'll meet at 9 o'clock on the sofa again, unless something changes and they push it off again. But other than that, we'll be here for watch Brian Walsh get sentenced. I hope they have the camera on his face. So that's it. So I appreciate y'all catching up with all this with me, watching all this with me. Moderators, thank y'all for being here and keeping the sofa cushions fluffed and everything going. I do appreciate y'all. The Sofa Squad, thank y'all for being here and having cordial conversation about everything. I greatly appreciate that too. So that's it. We'll close out with Slow Morrison's Ode to the Sofa. And I will see y'all in the morning. Shooby-dooby-doo. I do love y'all. Y'all have a wonderful evening. I will see you in about 13, 14 hours. So that's it. Bye. We'll see you soon.
The pillows are fluff thanks to Miss Emily. The couch is wide enough. Join the family. It's all love while we laugh at Perp's criminalities. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup at hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh, please, the puppies need me. Ooh, oh, please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credential stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup and hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. puppies need me. Hold please. My body is rejecting none of that fancy credentialed stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup that, hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.